Good morning. It is Thursday and it is really cold today where I'm at, which is crazy because the last few days have been absolutely glorious. But today we are expecting rain and even snow just up a little higher than I'm at. So I decided it's a day for bread because tomorrow is going to be soup for sure. So I wanted to show you guys the bread that I always make because this is a no bread machine bread. This is a no knead bread. This is so easy and it's few ingredients, and so I thought I would share it because it's just so simple. And I am going to be using a bread flour today, but do not feel like you have to use bread flour. When I first started making this, I just used all-purpose and it works perfect every time. So don't even worry about that at all, okay? So we're gonna do 3 cups. Sorry, it's loud. 3 cups of flour. So let's get that scooped. See, I'm just very loosely doing the 3 cups too. Like, it does not have to be perfect. It can be a little over. It's fine. 2 and a little too much. There we go. 3 cups. All right. Okay. Now we're gonna do 2 teaspoons of quick rise yeast, and I always use the quick rise for this. I don't know if you can use regular active dried. If you have the packets of the quick rise, just use 1 packet, but otherwise you're gonna use 2 teaspoons. Now, this is completely optional. When I first started making this bread recipe, I did not add sugar. It wasn't part of the recipe. I seen somebody adding sugar one time to their bread, and I was like, let me try that, and I just never went back. So I just do 2 teaspoons of that, but again, you can feel free to leave it out. And then I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons of salt, and I am using a kosher salt. So if you're using more of a fine table salt, maybe go a little lighter. All right, so then I'm going to take a wooden spoon and I'm just going to kind of incorporate this all together and kind of make sure that you've kind of mixed that salt, sugar, and yeast all around. All right, and then I'm going to get about 1.5 cups to 2 cups of very warm water from my tap. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that and I will be right back. All right, I'm back with my 2 cups of warm water from the sink. So I'm gonna go ahead and start adding in about 1.5 cups, maybe a little shy, and I'm gonna mix, and then I'm gonna decide if I need more water or not, because I'm looking for a certain look to my dough more than an exact ratio. And because my altitude can be a little off, I live in a very rural, lower foothills area, and so based on my weather will sometimes affect my bread. So I just eyeball it, okay? So I always start though right away with about 1.5 cups because I know every time I'm using about 1.5 cups. So we're gonna start there and mix her up. And I am using the back of my wooden spoon as opposed to the top because I really want to make sure that I'm incorporating everything and getting the texture that I'm looking for. So you can see here, my 1.5 cups has still left me very dry. So that's why I say you're going to want to start less and then add more because you can't take it back later. I mean, I guess you could add more flour, but who wants to do that? All right, so we add a little more, and I'm looking for kind of a put together but slightly goopy consistency. Like, I don't want it to be too, there we go. This is actually looking just about perfect. So let me just make sure that I have everything mixed together, and then I will show you what we are looking like. All right. Take all that off. All right, so this is kind of where we're at. So get as close as we can. You can kind of see there's a little jiggle there, but it's not too wet. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking for. So then at this point, I'm going to take some plastic wrap and I'm going to cover it up and I'm going to put it in a warm spot in my house for at least 2 hours. Now, this time of year, my house can get really cold, and I should say all times a year, unless we're 113 degrees outside. It's pretty cold where I'm at. So I do find that I try to put it near my fireplace if I have the fire going that day, or in front of or near my space heater. Or if you don't have any of that as an option, I would put it into your oven off, not on. We're not trying to bake bread yet, but leave your oven off, but you can put it in there because it can be a warmer spot if that is what you're looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and cover this up, let it sit for 2 hours, and then we will be back to check her out, get her in the oven, and finish up. So stay tuned. All right, so actually I'm back. One last look. I covered it up nice and tight, and now I'm going to go place it by the warm fire so that way we can get her to rise, okay? And I'll see you back in a couple of hours. All right, so about an hour and a half in from the dough rising, you're going to want to get your oven preheating and your Dutch oven in there. So I did not film that because I was trying to save time, but I don't even know if we're going to get this all in one video, so let's see what we can do. So 450. Put in your Dutch oven and you're going to preheat that for about 30 minutes. So it's going to be very hot. Make sure your Dutch oven can handle that 450 temp. It has already been about 30 minutes for that. We are back with our dough that's rose. You can see it's very hard to see on the top because of all the moisture, but you can definitely see how big it is. So now I'm back with just some all-purpose flour that I am going to lay out on my mat here, and you can do this directly on your counter if you want. I just always do it on one of these little silicone baking mats, and I also have my parchment paper already sitting here ready to go. All right, we are going to turn this out onto our board. It is very sticky. Kind of see what I've done. All right, so now we're going to add a little more flour to the top here. And all right, and then I'm just going to kind of stretch and pull, kind of like you do sourdough. Very similar is what I'm doing. So I'm just kind of stretching and pulling and kind of pulling it over a little bit onto itself. And we're going to tuck and roll. And I kind of tuck and roll. So very similar to what you've seen on all of, the sourdough recipes. This is just a lot less effort in my mind because I'm skipping that whole process of the sourdough. I love this bread because I can just decide at any given moment that I need bread today, and that's what we're doing. So we take our bread. It looks beautiful. We're going to set it on the center of our parchment paper. I'm going to score this, and I'm going to get it in my Dutch oven. I'm going to run out of time, and I don't want to. So we're going to put this in my Dutch oven. We're going to let it cook at 450 for 30 minutes. Then I'm going to take the lid off, and we're going to let it continue cooking for 12 minutes without the lid. And I will be back when it is all done so you can see what it looks like before the end of the video, okay? All right, so it has been about 43 minutes or so, I guess, and we are out of the oven. It is super hot, so I am not going to handle her, but this is my artisan, no knead bread, no sourdough, no bread machine, and I hope you like the recipe. I will put the ingredients and information in the comment section, and let me know if you try it. Thanks so much, and bye.